Hello my G's, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. Kamalam Kupumulela Koduga, aka Nondi Koduga, aka The Gods. I do hope you click the subscribe button and stay a while. Back like I never left. Guys, I promised you content, and one thing about me Nayasba, so the details in and in Gogo Ndiboyile as promised. But the only way I felt it was right to do this is to start with a life update. It's been a long while, guys. It's been such a long while. I think the last time we sat down and caught up was when I was basically talking about my pregnancy. Even then, it was just focused on the pregnancy. And then now I'm going to be speaking about my unemployment to employment, to being a public defender, baby defense lawyer at Africa's biggest law firm. Also motherhood, friendships, any regrets, my relocation, and basically my future on YouTube. So if you're interested in that, please keep on watching. Yo guys, uningi and ngiwan. Where do we start? Okay, I think the best way is to start it from graduation. Obviously, I finished school 2021, got my results. I think by December I already had my results, so I knew I was graduating. Graduation was put down for May. I think it was the 20th of May 2022. So obviously in March 2022 I gave birth to Liana, my gorgeous daughter. And then when we went to graduation, such a beautiful day, guys. Like, I could not have chosen a better institution to do my LLB than Forte. The crop of academics, especially in law, they made my experience so pleasant, and hence I was able to have a first class pass, just 3% from getting cum laude, but we move. But that time I had no prospects of a job, but I had already been applying and all of the stuff. So we went to grad with Liana. Liana was about 2 months, March, April. She was 2 months, gorgeous, had beautiful family photos. I'll forever be grateful to Yonoba and his mom. Like, I just cannot thank them enough. I don't even know how to show them my gratitude because I didn't even know how I was going to go to grad. I'm unemployed, estranged from my family, and then there's our team. But again, they made it happen, and it was beautiful. It was perfect, guys. So now back to reality. Pelile indo yoba. Graduation, I'm looking for a job, I'm unemployed. So obviously before graduation, and even the year before, my third year, I had been applying for VAC work, and then COVID hit, so obviously no new appointments were being made. Apply everything that's being advertised, even if you have no interest. And I qualified for the big 5 because I was obviously way over 65%, which they required. So obviously I was in the top half of my class of 2021. So I had the prospects, but within me I had no desire, absolutely zero desire to go to Johannesburg. And the top 5 the top 5 firms, the law firms, are in Joburg. Like, Weber Windsor was a big one. I applied there, and also what's this thing, Bowman's. A lot of first class pass graduates from Forte do go to Bowman's and Weber Windsor, as far as I know. And then what's the other one? But for me, guys, it was never something I applied because to apply qualifier, but it wasn't a conversation with God. All I wanted was stability, and only 2 places were going to offer that stability to an extent. The one stream was going to be public prosecution, and the other being public defense. And public defense was what I was really praying for, because I could end up being, it's going to lead me, it's like lead my road to being an admitted attorney of the High Court of South Africa. So I was really praying for that, but then, girl with the story, I applied for public defense. I'm not going to speak about the law firms or the names and stuff like that. If you know, you know. If you don't, just, it doesn't matter, because you'll get the gist of the story, you get the essence of the story, and you know what I'm talking about. They had advertised, basically it's like you have to upload your CV onto their portal. So you basically go into a pool and they draw from there. So their applications were closing. This is public defense now. Their applications were closing in February, and I hadn't given birth yet, so I sort that out. I put in my application, and basically how they work is a push system. Someone has to get out in order for you to get in. So imagine, guys, this is like a gamble. It's like literally like playing the lottery, because you just don't know when your turn is going to come, if it ever comes. But obviously now they had requirements. You had to be your aggregate or average for your degree had to be more than 60% qualify, flying colors. The other one, nothing, which is public prosecution. It didn't need anything. But you wanna get, guys, this stream sayo is very simple. You get into that. It's a program for a year, and then they train you basically as a prosecutor, and then thereafter you have an assessment, which is basically, can you start a trial from beginning to end on your own, and then they absorb you. You stay on contract basically until they have a position for you available anywhere in your province, or I think now the country. But within that, you're obviously not going to be able to be admitted because you didn't do your articles. And then it's just like growing in the ranks. So you're going to become a district prosecutor, a regional prosecutor. I think it's controlled, then SPP, which is a senior public prosecutor, and then NDPP, which is basically the head top-notch boss, the national director of public prosecutions. So that's the one side. And then with defense, you become a candidate for 2 years, and then after 2 years, they obviously release you, but then you get, hopefully, you become admitted an attorney. You become an admitted attorney of the High Court of South Africa, and then they also put you in a pool again as an admitted attorney, and they pull from then and become a district legal practitioner, and then from there you become a regional court legal practitioner. Then you become SLP, which is a senior legal practitioner, which is basically the managers. But that's basically the different routes. But admission for me was very important in my legal career, because even if you don't necessarily want to go into litigation or practice the law, you could always apply for other positions in like corporate. There's a lot, guys. And I don't know if I'm very comfortable in speaking about my career, like career advice, because I have none, guys. Just fundani and try just to get good marks, because baninzi abantu, guys, noba sosenza LLB akhona ibhetere, because noba sojonga mhlawumbe kwi-BA kwintoni iyafana LLB, guys. Awuzuthi ndine-LLB une-50%. I'm not judging anyone, or I'm saying abantu abana-50%, but think ba baninzi abantu kwalapha eSouth Africa, baninzi kwakule degree uyenzileyo. So basically I had done that application for the legal defense. It closed end of February. I gave birth in March. So now I'm like, when are they gonna call us? And they're like, wait, chill. Anyone else asking, they're like, chill. With that sort of thing, you need to wait. So I was prepared to work after I'd given birth. I gave birth obviously on 25th of March. So I'm like, give me about 2 months. By May, I'm gonna be ready to work, because I wasn't working at the time. My partner wasn't working at the time. So it was literally his mom looking after us. How embarrassing. But so this is now May. And then luckily my boyfriend gets a job in Port Elizabeth in July. So we up and leave, and we go to Port Elizabeth. So during this time, I'm obviously still looking for jobs anyway. Now at this point, I'm like, I'm just desperate. But I was limiting my search because I can, because I've got nothing to lose. I was limiting my search between PE and East London. We were wanting to move from East London because I just felt like Yabona Ngoku was just becoming another Queenstown. I'd been there for close to 5 years now, and I feel like after 5 years hits in that way, I'm a bit uncomfortable. I just felt like you had to know certain people to get ahead. As much as you've worked hard, there's circles, and I'm not opposed to that. But I wasn't going to penetrate those circles because all I was what? A good student. What more do I have to offer? So I really was adamant. That's the word. I was really adamant on finding myself a job rather than asking someone to hook me up, because I didn't want a thing of I can't do wrong, guys. But now at this age, I just thought I can do it on myself. I've worked so hard, so I just need to be patient and trust in the Lord. And one thing I'll tell you for free, so we moved to Port Elizabeth, and then the public prosecution was closing on the 4th of July applications. Get to PE, I quickly do that, I send it off. And I'm just doing this for compliance purposes, but by you I applied. So in end of March, beginning of April, I remember it was going to be Easter, public defense now calls me and is like, dude, we've got an assessment. From that assessment, we're basically going to take interviews. Yeah, that's how it went. So if you have to pass the assessment, they basically like there's no scope. You have to get basically more than 60%, but then now 60% amongst the 100 people writing. So when you email 100% basically, because ufuna phezulu, ufuna phezulu, yabo, so that at least they pick your name from the top. They don't have to rummage for you. So I write the assessment and then I think I get feedback. Yes, I get feedback of that. I passed my assessment, they'll be in contact. Basically, you can't be studying, you can't have done your articles somewhere else, like started them somewhere else and only going to see them at the public defense. And then also, where do you want to be placed and stuff like that. So I put down PE and then I put down East London, and then the other place was Utenate because we could work around those areas. Yeah, bo? So I sent that off and now it's a waiting game. So public prosecution now, says you have to write an exam. They send you a study guide. The study guide I think was about 200 pages, I'm not too sure. And basically when you do your Googles, you get to a Facebook group and they're saying, I know that shit from back to front. Was in a page number, page because that exam is grueling. The exam was set for September. Public defense, the man in the boozer, but he explained about, girl, relax. This is not gonna happen anytime soon, type of thing. Primarily because I come to the Puma. So literally in there, you position on you. But that's just how it works. It's not like you're waiting for someone to get fired or whatever. After 2 years, your articles end. Hopefully you've written all your boards and passed them, and then you can write submit your papers to the LPC, and then they lie for inspection, and then eventually get admitted. Yeah, well, so your ex parte affidavit. So yeah, basically, where was I now? Oh, so the exam was set for September, and then I'm like, but it was rumored that it was set for September. So I get the invite towards the end of July. So I'm like, well, I'm not really wanting to study too far ahead, but I'm not too sure what I'm going to be facing. So I now like, I'll put it off. So eventually August 9th rolls around, and now it's a public holiday, and I tell myself I need to start studying. So okay, I think I started studying like mid like around the 20th of August. Sana nafunda, mind you, sana olubomvu literally, but the nice thing about that, learns about God's timing, guys, will always reign supreme, because uliana wayelala aye avuka senze time ndimshintshe napkin yabo iroutine yakhe yayiset and her life so longer. So I used to, and Lena wangafuni bekwa phansi ke wasibeke phansi yamvusa, so I literally had to have her in my arms, and I had to be studying. So I study as much as I could. Exam rolls around 9th of September, we get there, and the unfortunate part, and that's just a memory in our lives, is that on the morning of my exam, my boyfriend's sister passes away. We hear that she passed away. I'm like, you're binding up, and being an eye in short, yabo. And the way in which I had studied was more of understanding versus memorization to an extent. But the nice thing about me, that's what makes me smart, is that I have a photographic memory, yabo. So if I've seen something, I'll know where to place it. But beyond that, I had learned my cases, and I'm like, this is the principle, and this is how you're going to apply it, yabo. Sisi, ndafika ku-exam. Kufuna line by line, literally. But they'll ask you a question from umzekelo this section, and basically they'll muddle up what the section contains within ABC. It was multiple choice, you understand? But yara, ndaphuma ndingenalo nelona themba lomhlaba. That's ke andibe ndijonga pha ku defense lo bendimfuna kakade, yabo. Ndicheche pha kwa defense, bathi sisi relax. Ke nam andizicenge ndiyeke into ndibe ndikhangela ke-articles around in and around Port Elizabeth ke to know luck. But anyway, the nice thing, I think what I got more relaxed about is that we moved to Port Elizabeth because my partner had gotten an internship at Transnet, and obviously was getting a stipend, so his mom was helping us along. So okay, it wasn't ideal, but it was better. But what made me relax to a certain extent was my boyfriend got a permanent job within operations management, and it was what basically said. But obviously, I'm not one to be like, baby, but I wanted things of my own, and I also wanted to contribute to the household. So I write the exam, have no hope. Lo and behold, I get an email, you are shortlisted for interviews. And this is now, I think, November. Is it November? No, it's October. I remember it's October 18th. Yeah, it was October, a little bit after my birthday. And as a result, I didn't even celebrate my birthday because I was studying, and my birthday wish was, please give me this job, God. Yeah, well, because as much as it's not the route I really wanted to take, it's something that I have to consider, because now, after obviously you finish your training, they absorb you. Yeah, well, so I won't have to be worried about being unemployed again. So the long and short of that, I go to the interviews, a month passes, they basically, and I call my favorite lecturer, but that's a story for another day. Let me just shorten it anyway, because that embarrassed, and I just thought, oh my goodness, I wasn't on mute in one of our classes, and I'm like, I don't even know why I was saying it, because I was alone in my room in the morning, 8 o'clock. He even asked, like, are you guys awake? Because I said basically, Mr. So-and-so is so dreamy, he would make such a perfect husband. And literally the whole class heard me. But I called him, do you remember him? He's like, of course I remember you, Koduka. And I'm like, this is what's up, please just reference me, because I've put you down as a reference. He's like, oh, of course. So probably, I'm now close to giving up. It's towards the end of November. And again, guys, wazawuqala nge-1st kaFebruary, at least December kuyavalwa most, so by end of November something should come up. He calls me saying, "Ngicamile ke, ukhona ukuncama uphinde uncame yabo qoma, I wouldn't mind type of thing, but ke bayoyami uzawuthi ndithini nizozibulala yabo." But I was close to not uzibulala, but yay, ndandingekho right guys, ndandirongo ukufa yabo. So he calls me and he says to me that, no, they called me, so look out. Linda. Phela afike December 16 that I guess. So now on Facebook, people are updating, no, I got the call, but saying, I call, yes, son. Did the call ever come? It never came. I was devastated, guys, like crying. Yintoni anazibe ndimphinde ndinga umsebenzi enzima kangaka yabo. Awuthixo wena ngowami sibana wari. Samtya kuDisemba ngalo hleba nqoma ndizawuthini guys next year. But I'm like, since it's a yearly program, I'll apply again the following year. But nguThixo waziyo guys, because kulo nyaka ayikho, because cost containment or cost constraints or whatever the case is. So the email ke ngipha ku defense ndithi, hey, public defense bethunana ithini into ye wathi public defense sisi sithe relaxa, into ezakwenzeka ngawe, will only interview you towards end of the year. Ndathi hayi Thixo ngifuna phansi komhlaba, bana ngoku ngifuna ndife fi. Ewe uyonwaba unawo umsebenzi, ahlala zingatyanga kumandi senje ba undipholile nami ke qoma amathathajazi ngizakwenza udodo ke pha eCape Road, because that's where most of the law firms are yabo, Newton Park, so kla round umuntu osebhaya yandendela ngayo. Hey sana sa celebrate my mom's birthday, went to the garden club, beautiful day, 12th of February. On the Monday, I kid you not, the phone line defense, public defense, it is sisi lungiselela interview ke 16. Qha ke before ye 16 sibhale a 3-page motivation echaza uba kutheni wena uyi best candidate. 3 pages guys, and sifuna ngomso ngo2. Umntana ulapha, but lakhe linke ncama kaThixo. Uliyana ke futhi ngoku se active asalali kangako ngoku. And literally now my boyfriend used to work night shifts, so shame, Lord bless his soul yabo. And I was in the so he was able basically to babysit. Hey, so it was very difficult, but because I was so desperate for a job. 16th rolls around, I go for an interview. I go for the interview was relaxed. They basically ask you what you had written, because basically like, we see you wrote the 2 pages, you didn't exceed, you follow instruction well, etc, etc. So that's basically points. And I feel like if you do well in your assessment, they won't be grilling you because they know that you're sorted on the technical side. So basically they were just asking me, because they basically asked me that, and they asked me about a case that has been basically heavy on my mind. The back give again now, if you know the foreplay judgment, which is basically like tacit consent, that if like, I'm not gonna go into it, but if you know, Google it. It's very interesting if you're interested in the law. I don't want to bore you guys, and this thing's only 20 minutes, and I said it's going to be 30 minutes. I've got so many things to talk about, but I'm trying to speed myself up. But anyway, I do the interview. This is now February. So and I'm like, God, over to you. And literally my spirit just relaxed, guys. They weren't going an hour. I can't get and didn't kind of know clarity, because I just wanted to wake up and put on a wig and put on a bra and get out of the house. Liana goes to school. I've raised her for a year. So since I not panic at all. Easter, was it now? Liana's birthday on the 25th, we celebrate that. And then, how could I forget this? So the day after the interview, it was a Friday, I think. They called me, go to your nearest whatever place to get your fingerprints. I couldn't go on that Friday because they were fully booked, so I go on the Monday, take my fingerprints. So now being the person that I am, I'm like, so when they come here, so when they say you must come here, but they usually are, you're a candidate, you're in the forerunning, and it's just a matter of a verification. But if fingerprints are so that gave me hope. So so they were kept asking me to verify my matrics and stuff like that. So I said to her, but girl, I'm so depressed. I was so candid with her, and bless her soul, HR way to guys, wow. That's all I have to say to her. She is so personable, like unambubele, and she's a white lady, and something you wouldn't expect. But not even like that, because with the prosecution side, I would keep asking, and like, just wait. Like, since so just wait. So relax type of thing now. But HR way to guys, uthixo xa efuneka ekwenzele into uzakwenzela lula, guys. Xa ndimane ndimbuza uthini into, amane sithi no, send this nyhani ke salinde into ibindigcinile ke i-matric verification. I'm like, but dude, I have a matric, I have 2 degrees, so how can I not have a matric? Would you be surprised how many people actually forge matrics? But anyway, ndalinda. Number a week later, after ndimbuza ngogqibela uba, girl, matric wam uthini, wabesithi no, verified. He says that he was having problems or whatever the case was. Sana, this was now a week later. It's end of April. We celebrated Easter. I'm literally like, if festivities is pale, we are going and those are pale after June type of thing. And the phone, but it's not a post that yo bow. What I say, but aware that P, but that I and so was, and I hung up the phone. But not like that, I'm being dramatic. But I'm like, can I please think about it? I'm not too sure. I'll wait for PE. I'll wait for East London. She's like, if I were you, I'd take it. I don't know your circumstances, but I mean, your articles are 2 years. I just moved here with my partner and my child and trying to build a family, still relatively a young family. And she's like, if I would advise as a professional, it's only 2 years. In December, we shut down 16th of 15th of December, so you can be with your family. Hey, daya boyfriend yam wabe ephangela night shift, so wayekhona salenda ndamxelela uba yeyingenile call xa isechuwa. Ndathi wathi njani baby, ufuna uthini? Ndathi mandilinde ibhayi. Kodwa kuthiwa ndilinda ntoni, because basically there's things they can't divulge as to how they select people. Ndathi yo, ndithini? Athi asifonele umamakho. Samfonela nyani umakhulu kaLiana. Hayi bochini, sapani lo mntu uyophangela ntombi. And guys, that was it for me. And from there, I took the offer. I had to leave my boyfriend. I was starting work on the 2nd of May, so we spoke about bus funtin. It's like slowly, And I'm like, I trust you guys, but whatever you do, that says Con is belong to us born at this point, and whatever I do, yeah, well. Nyanje ndahamba nge-first kamane was a public holiday, and then up at Butterworth, my brother has a child. I don't know if you guys know about that. My bigger brother, Obaz, he has a child, and they come from here, and we all came to Zomhlaula, so we knew them, but not that well. And she also came to my mom's memorial and stuff like that, where the family came. So it's a kind of a buhlobo, which would have, if my mom was still around, would have been more stronger, but that's one thing I believe, So ultimately, the long and short of it all, I call them up, dude, this is the thing. They're like, of course we've got a room for you. Yeah, but and I be outside room, flatly is la link, and I just outside of Butterworth, yeah. So they're like, flat in just la link, because la link work flat in 8 corners, like creative and 8 corner and not picture. So when I pie flat in, get weekends, go and figure by. I mean, I pay Butterworth, I pay go. Get weekends in a medical because they go makulake. And guys, it's just been seamless, and that's basically been it. This is my 5th month. And guys, I am enjoying it so much. Like, when you're in a place and you're like, this is where I've needed to be all my life, because people have always commented, but you are really lonely, you were to teta, and sissy, that is what is needed in court. Funeka uvakale court, funeka ukwazi uthetha. You need to argue. Ubeke isandla esinqeni xa cross examine, yabo. So ndifike ndangena vinci. Obviously I started work in May. Then you have to wait for your right of appearance, and then my predecessor, yabo, was leaving end of June. So I actually took over the court in June. So my court is rural, it's like an hour out of Butterworth, and one of my best friends literally comes from Itendan, so it's just so serendipitous. But I never imagined when I practiced law, but I was in your practice at Itendan, and I pop on guys. But that's what happens when you submit yourself to Tiko, guys. Serendipitous things happen. My move here was seamless, and Bashem guys is supported me, but so it's just a matter of that. I am so settled. I moved into my apartment. I have an empty apartment too, if you're interested in that. It's not a high rise. It's not a floor to alias face. I say Atlant. Floor to ceiling windows, but it's so cozy, it's so me. And I thought that I was going to give you guys some home content, but I've made a decision that in my life, guys, I just invest because after 2 years I have to move back home, because I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't want to move back in with my boyfriend, because at the end of the day, family, because there's a level of uncomfortability from his side of the family. It's not a bad thing. I actually respect them. Mama is very conservative, and she's Catholic, so and I have to respect that at the end of the day. So if your number really wants to make an honest woman out of me, so which leads me basically to my next point of, let me just say, my plans type of thing. Because I'm here for that long, the place is comfortable. I had furniture I had in East London, so I'll fix here and there. Like, taking a headboard, I'm not so invested because I saw the price of the headboard, guys, and I'd rather use that money to book Liana a hotel stay, book Liana a flight to Cape Town, because at the end of the day, I'm here to work. I'm not here to create content or build a home. This is not a forever home. Just all mess up, and I'll create content around the stuff that I have. If it's not aesthetic for you guys enough, then it's just unfortunate. This is my reality, and the reason why it was so important for me to come back to YouTube, but I'll go into it later on, but it was so important for me to document this place in my life, because the grade, but no grade is not the document. I just have a short reel on Instagram. So I'm finding it imperative for me to document every phase of my life. It's not going to be perfect, it's not going to be glamorous, but it's my life, and I'm enjoying it at this point. There's been days, guys, what will become of me, baby, mama baby, so it was just literally not giving it all. So the next thing that I want to move, I really want this thing to be 30 minutes. The next thing that I want to talk about is motherhood, guys. The that thing will consume you. Yabona hlobo ndililo abekhuliyana ngokusesi ngeke ningithole yabo. But I'm so happy that things happened the way that they happened, because I got time to raise my child. And even now, guys, it's not even a matter about my band, but there's phases in life that we need to understand that they're not going to be as crisp and clear cut as we expect them to be. Guys, as much as I plan I want to start a family or I want to have a child, it happened that way. And I know why God gave me that child, because guys, there was I think if I can find the clip, I was alone getting COVID. It was a Christmas, and I'm like, I'm not going to spend Christmas at someone else's house if it's not with my family. And the loneliness I felt in that flat, guys, in the pit of my stomach, it was so deep, and God knew, because now Uliana has become my world, and I have drive more than I'm not a lazy person. If I want something, I try very hard to work towards it. But and I have a friend. I have someone I can call my own. Like, not even a matter of ownership or belonging or anything of the sort. But guys, and she's so beautiful. She's so smart. She's just a ray of sunshine. And I've come to understand at this phase in my life that there's different ways to parent. Well, if she has to live with her grandmother for the interim, then so be it. It was going to be 2 years, but I can't survive. I can't survive without her. I'm just going to have to make means for Bandim Tate, maybe beginning of next year. Just for her, because I'm comfortable with her going to play school, and she gets bored, Payana, where she lives with her grandma. She gets very bored. She's very active. She's social. She's unotando. Like, wow. In the space of a year and a half, you like so it's just so amazing and so fulfilling. It's but it's consuming, guys. I don't even want to lie. It's so consuming, Lando, guys. And and I want to make sure that I understand I'm onke into for okay so that's that. And that will lead me to the whole friendships thing, and this is something I've wanted to touch on, but obviously I didn't have a platform, and it's for me to speak about it now, because in as far as they could, but when I fell pregnant, sana and but even before the pregnancy, you could see that dynamics are changing, because abantu abayithandi insokolo, myself included, like poverty ayonto attractive sense, but you're not going to be drawn to okay, type of thing, like struggling person, especially a prolonged struggle. And one of my ex-friends said to me, one of my former friends said to me, when I told her I'm pregnant, was I'm teen umdana. And the undertone I got from that is like, and my boyfriend was not stable at that point, and everyone knew that, because we all come from the same place and we're more or less in the same circles. So it was a matter of, dude. And she even added to say to me, and she was getting married towards the end of the year, and I ended up not going at all, because I asked her for a +1. She's like, no, we're fully booked. And lo and behold, one of her friends gets a boyfriend after that, and miraculously I'll pull +1. But the long and short of it all, she says to me, no, I was going to cover when, because I'm not mad, I'll pangil. The one by has known to the left, and it's just like things just started happening. They weren't choosing me, and that guys in the standing. My mom's and I's biggest fights were because Pumela stand home. Qalushiya yonke into guys nabawo ichomi yami andidingi. Qala uvuka ngo5 extend to andiyopheka because I want to show up. So I just felt they weren't showing up for me, so there was no point. All of these people, baby showers, bridal showers, kubani main instigator ndim. But kwabanzima ke, even after I had given birth, but nansi pampers bamba. But ke, there's an Arabic saying that says, do something and throw it in the sea. Do a good deed and throw it in the sea. And that's one thing I live by. And that's So it's just one of those things. I've got nothing against them, but there is a sense of disappointment. Now I got bad vibes. Yo, I'm not guys, I was so shocked and disappointed in the fact that I was like, God, we see you. It just was a detachment, and that's okay, because these seasons, guys, zininzi ebomini kuyadlula mhlawumbi singaphinde sidibane mhlawumbi singaphinde sidibane, but I'm proud of all of them. Everyone is doing well for themselves, and ke ndilapha nam senje uba ndim lo ndiphelele. And I'm not saying I'm basing my whole entire existence on my boyfriend or my child. It's me, guys. It's me. Kwabe ndibe nje ngoku kuba ndiziforce uba vuka baby girl, dig deep and go back to who you are and do the things that you love and that make you happy. So it was literally, me coming back is just literally so important to me, but I said I'm going to speak about it. And then from friendships, I wanted to speak about marriage. I'm including this as marriage, because I've been getting phone calls from my brothers saying, so and so who's a distant family member, in the sense that we family. I'm like, I'm not gonna say they're my sisters, but who saw me graduate, who saw me have a child, but now that I'm posting pictures with my baby daddy and we've moved in together in PE and the baby, am I married now? And I'm like, this is so strange, because why would she ask you that and not call me or anything of the sort? And then I found it more strange in the sense that utatam guqaba and my boyfriend guqaba, so now it's becoming so scandalous and stuff like that. I'm like, I want no part of that. But the long and short of it, guys, I'm not married to Uyonwaba, and it's not a thing of the next year or two I am looking at getting married. The only thing that I'm focusing on right now is my boards. I just need to get admitted, then I can think about that. And I told him that the only way I could say that now it's not distinct with each other is if we have a house. And that house will have to be bought by you, because I'm so hlala ku 50-50 mna. Ndifuna ngihlale kwaqonqo. I sound in that, So for me, it's more about stability, but I don't even want to lie. I don't get rough patches in relationships. We've hit a rough patch because distance is rocking us, guys, and distance is rocking us to hell and back. But now, guys, in the phase now, I've stressed so much over things I have no control over, and I've lost such good time, and I could have used my time more constructively. Not that I've done anything destructive per se, but since i-relationship yam ndayifuna isebenze, ndayithandazela uba isebenze, uba uliyana abe ne-2-parent household, into ebedala ndithandazela ndatsho nayo. But if the adverse happens, andizofa, and it's just, there comes a point in life that funeka ezikhethile, because umzekelo, guys, I have to be candid about this because it pisses me the fuck off, and baby, if you're watching this, you know how I feel about you. I sat here, guys, in a video kumila kunje ndisithi mna ndifuna indoda enje, and you know uye, guys, is tall, he's bearded, he's so smart. Like, I learn from him every single day. He wears English. He's everything for me. But that's it, and I got the biggest drinker. So yeah, but izinto, guys, ziyachinja ebomini, and I don't want you guys to say about, I'm hoping it's gonna change. No, guys, but umntu ndiyamnika benefit of the doubt, because nam, guys, ndiyandazi uba I was the biggest drinker. But kwavesika kwafika into yathi, get girl, God, faka rap xesha liyakushiya, and ngoku awusenabazali. So sisi, uwesi ngumzali ke ngwena, so sisi, misa ingqondo, So maybe it might dawn on him someday, maybe it might not, but who knows, And as no sense, man, guys, because the other girl who used to be my friend, she had a baby with this guy, and then for 5 years. After 5 years, they got married. So isn't that, guys, malleable. You have to be malleable, so I don't be flexy. Otherwise, that's the one thing that I've learned, And then I want to touch on my relocation, but I've touched on it already. Seamlessly, but iBhayi guys for mna ne bendicinga fanele uba yenye indawo, but indibonisile uba ayiyo. iBhayi is literally a small Cape Town. It is so racist, it is so cold, everything is just so far apart. If you don't have a car, you're literally left outside, because just to get to Spa, it's a 55 Rand Uber. And in Monday I preferred it because Bolt one maybe 21 Rand from my place to, and it takes one, so I thought it literally have to take 5 million taxes to get. If I was gonna have to take 3 taxes, guys, every single day. Yeah, because we live in a complex. From that complex, I have to go to a location. Yeah, to get a taxi to town. From town, I have to go to North End. That's where our offices are. Imagine ngeleyo. And phangela kule law firm phangela kuyo, noba ukweyiphi corner of South Africa, you get paid the same. So xa ndisithi uThixo uyazazi ii-crevices entliziyo yakho, ndiyayazi, because uThixo uyazazi iingxaki zam, guys. Uyazazi nyhani iingxaki zam. Funeka mna ngoku ndiplan uba I have to uba ndivuse ekhaya, ndithenge amatanki because akho manzi, ntoni, indlu obviously needs eza updates zoba umama bezawuzenza. Akasekho ngoku umama, so funeka ndimise ingqondo uba we need new curtains, kukho amathanda, funeka ebhetshiwe, house that funeka kupentiwe, funeka kuthweni, yabo. Because next year Christmas, guys, ndicela nindikwote uba ndandithewulela sizayispenda ekhaya, sivuse ikhaya lasekhaya. And iba funeka ibe luxanduva lam, guys, I don't mind. Yabona ngoku ndi-ready, guys, I am so ready, yabo. So I was feeling a little overwhelmed. I wanted to leave East London, but uThixo wandiphendula wathi, girl, but I will. And guys, andifuna uxoka, akumandanga apha ne, but yile nto bendiyifuna. Senje uba umntanam ulapha eMonti, uba ndifuna eMonti, ndifuna Hemingways, iteksi nantsi, abantu abanintsi abaphangela lapha emsebenzini. I'm so sorry I'm speaking so much closer, but ndithetha from the depths of my heart, and I need you guys to hear me. It's just unfortunate if you don't understand, because I'm really sorry, cheese, but ninazichomi ngamaXhosa, guys. And yeah, well, but the long and short of it all is that guys, and we as ingxaki zakho, yabo. So I'm gonna be able to save, because my rent is relatively low in comparison to if I was living in East London. My transport is relatively low, I mean, in Port Elizabeth. So everything is just working out for me. And I even wrote on Twitter about psych, yabo, the way things are just falling into place. But now, guys, into endifuna uyigxininisa mna is that ithemba lona funeka uhlale unalo. And I also forgot to mention and the friendship part of things. One of my goals to get after losing my friends, and literally all of them at the same time, I'm not a victim, guys. I'm not a victim. They try to make means, but they try to make amends or reach out, but I'm like, whatever. So I wanted to form lasting friendships. And I know people are going to say, excuse me, people are going to say that it's not a good place to make a and stuff like that. And I'm not naive, guys. I'm 35 years old in the next 2 weeks. So for me, it's not even a matter of bana. I'm seeking friends like that. But guys, we all are not from here. 4 of us were from PE. And basically, it's a matter of umzabalazo umnye, yabo, umzabalazo umnye. And when you're in a legal space, a lot of your personality is basically your job, yabo. I'm not saying it's right, but that's just how it is. So sometimes it's better for me to be around them, because I can speak what I need to speak about, versus having to censor myself about you abantu bazawudikwa, yabo. And it's what's working for me at this point. And one of them also has a baby who's more or less Lena's age. She just turned 1. So if she can have a child here, inspired, she'll be ungamthatha nowakho umntana uhlale naye, because I thought it was going to be a struggle. I-transport ziyafumaneka, i-contract, sense uba uB literally has made things for me so easy. But in terms of that, we recently lost a colleague, Upila Mona. Yo, guys, such a gentleman. He was the only guy. So there's 7 of us who started more or less at the same time, March, April, and I was the last one, May. Sorry. Yeah, well, we recently lost him. So his funeral was a week ago. And that was very, very sad, because what's a Missionville in PE? If you know PE, Missionville is not one of the best areas, and what's a Lalin. And basically what makes me settled right now. The fact that uphila usoleke esidimeni because bekusumiwa baba kulela lakhe nguyedwa igqwetha kwasemission vale nguyedwa igqwetha type of thing yabo. So rest well ntwana, sakhumbula, we always think about you, always have us in your heart. But kwisemon yakhe ke ngokuntshumayelo yalangcwabo kuthiwa hlalani nombethe. What I loved about lamfundisi yachaza uba ngwasecendane yena apha yabo, where I'm practicing, uthi he comes basically from a traditional home. Omnye utamkhulu kwayeliqhwele elikhulu, and then umakhulu kwayintonto naye isiXhosa kodwa yabo. So basically he didn't say specifically yombathi iBhayibhile. So uba wena ufuna uvuke ubasa impepho okanye ungene phansi kwamanzi or whatever, xa uvuka nje. And I love that so much. So it further fed into ba thandazani ningayeki kids yabo. And then the last thing I wanted to speak about, I think the last thing that I wanted to speak about was, do I have any regrets? Yeah, well, in terms of how my life has panned out, because the last time we spoke about I was carefree. Even my niece's mom was like, literally, ugoduka unondi lofuna umbhaqa ehamba ngebikini eKapa unomntana njani. That was never planned, but I don't know how I don't regret yabo. And you saw nomntana at all yabo. The only regret I think I had to an extent, but I was like, I just felt like PE was just too overwhelming at the time yabo. Because now I can go and visit because my boyfriend is still there yabo. He was in Ireland for a bit, transitioning, and now he's going back to PE yabo. But that's a story for another day, and that's his story to share yabo. Hashtag toxic workplaces. But anyway, it was just too overwhelming. We didn't know when we were gonna get a car, like having a child there. So, and also the furniture we bought there, we bought it under pressure, and that's why I'm just feeling like there's really no need for me to buy furniture here, guys, because eventually if you're not gonna end up together, even if we don't, and the one thing I learned in that trip, because the sofas we bought were beautiful, but comfortability, guys, and we had to buy them because literally we were having visitors that December, and I just wanted couches and just other small things, and that's literally it. Otherwise, everything else that I was concerned about is no longer a concern, guys. Like, why did I study an LLB? I could have done medicine, like something that's gonna secure me, and stuff like that. But more than that, guys, I'm relieved. I'm so relieved. It's been a long time coming. I've suffered, and now I'm living. But the ultimate thing I want to talk about was my YouTube channel. If I didn't come back to YouTube, guys, at this point in my life, these are by injustice, guys. These are by disservice to myself and to anyone who subscribed to me and knows what I stand for, guys. The reason why I'm here now is to show you guys that ubomi buyaphileka noba awunazo millions. Ubomi buyaphileka noba une-5,000 noba une-2,000. Cha ubomi buxhomekeke kuwe, guys. It's about waking up. Njengomzekelo le week ndiyinxibile yayi-600, nani niyayazi uba yayi-600 le week yabo. Makeup yam niyayazi uba ayo makeup itheni ngo-Revlon ngo-200 ngo-300 yabo. So I feel like I'm not saying that I'm a martyr or whatever the case is, ne? But I also want us to bring ourselves back to reality. Where's ngoku? Economy is so bad, and I just think it's so bad that, or unfair, that people can flaunt. Because literally women are killing themselves and killing their children because balambe suswin, but you want to carry a Louis Vuitton bag on Instagram. Check yourselves. So I want, even now, nobududla sense ba abantu bacifana zizinto zizithukwa. So bekunyanzelekile mandibuye yabo, and ndibuyile, guys, and I'm better. Nani niyanibona ninibonile ndihlupheka, ndimithi nditheni ndingazazi uba ndizawuvuka ndithini. Ndazama uvlog, I tried to come back in PE, but I promised you I was not settled at all. I've got a new phone. I think the quality is better. Sense I might even invest in lights depending on how it goes. But yeah, no ben pants I really bad. Remember, I was rushing to come back to YouTube, and these first day, because monetization now is going to be taken away. You're taken away, guess that. Long ago, God and says bye. Yeah, but so I'm just doing it because I want to do it, and I'll work towards my monetization again, because I have to start again. 2,000 subscribers, obviously, I've obviously got, and thank you guys for not leaving. Comment apartment to Yamba. I was about to unsubscribe. Thank you for coming back, whatever the case was. But guys, I'm back. Obviously, I'm not going to be active in the commenting as much as I was, but I'll do as much as I can. And in terms of my uploads as well, I'm going to try most Sundays. If I've got something to talk about or to share or anything of the sort, I won't leave you out. And the content now, guys, is just mainly going to be vlogs. Obviously, she in horse. And said it like I look so now I'm finding a little back so and there won't be, and for no guys, I'll show you whatever I buy here and there for the flat, but as a no snack, no Carol boys, no, it's not that type of party here. But okay guys, I hope you guys have caught up. Any questions you guys might have, anything I might have not spoken about, and I really want people to know that guys, I was an oversharer, but at this point in my life, I don't think I am. Everything that you guys know about me at this point is stuff that I really want you to know. There's a lot of things you don't know about me, and a lot of things I don't speak about to anyone. Yeah, but so I've learned, especially now that I've interacted with other girls who first knew me, and I said to them, the way I've calmed down after my mom passed away, because one of them would be, and I'm most closer to her because she has a child my age, and basically our stories are a little bit similar. She lost her mom when she was very young, unfortunately, but she was so ashamed about speaking about her mom's death and stuff like that. And now I lost my mom and she was like, but I would never speak about it. I'm like, but the thing is, I don't care, and I need ingcebi, so it's like 5,000 buy 100 liters. Please, you cannot use the things that I speak about against me at all. And the one thing I took away when I used to watch the Oprah, I was probably the Oprah show, probably 16, 16. The more you speak about things, the more the shame goes away. The more you speak about things, the more the shame goes away. And if there's been the Lord will restore the years that the locust and shame have eaten. I'll see you on the next one.